That take enough time, clearly.
Sure.
For both of us?
No, I actually know I hear Bobby got something sticking out his head. You got something that you like? Just a memorable
We
location.
played at the largest bar in Alabama. A place called The Whiskey. We put that on the website. We got a few emails. Our pastors, no, they knew. The guy had heard us before, and he said, I want to keep this New Year's Eve as a family event. He says, I want you guys to come in. We can't preach, but we want you to sing. We'll let the songs preach. So those are kind of some of the most memorable places I can remember.
All right, well, let's take this just a little bit step further. Because as interesting as those places might be, what we really want to do is we want to get something from this. Those are nice stories. I'm sure you got lots of pictures. But we want to try to learn something. We want to ascertain something from you today. So in order to do that, we're hoping that maybe each of you got lots of stories. Now, we don't want you to share lots of them today, maybe just one or two. But just things that happened on the road, you didn't know how you was going to make it through. I'm talking, you went home, laid in your bed at night crying, sucking your thumb, rolled up in a ball, home tight to your blanket. You just didn't know, except you knew the Lord was going to pull you through. We want to hear something about that, or maybe some kind of crazy story that just you can't even believe it's happened. Let's start with you, Ruth Paul, because Bobby did already a lot of talking. So let's start with you, Ruth Paul. Tell us a story that maybe we can learn something from. That you made it through, and you know it was only because of the Lord.
Well, this.
Now you know about this for a few weeks, so I hope you come up with something interesting.
This inflammation is not flowing like I thought it would. Well, with something going through ministry, it was quite a while ago, but me and my wife had some real troubles, and we were at the brink of divorce, and there was a lot of stuff done on each side that was bad, and I was in the ministry, serving God, and was not taking care of things at home. And something that changed my life was the fact that God assured me that He would take care of it all. But God can repair those things. And even if they're gone for a while. I'm not saying that's every situation. But He's in that kind of business. And that's the miracle God did in my life. I took 2 years off of the ministry just to get the family straight. And even people that hang around us, me and my wife now, they say, you guys just make me sick. Because, you just... I hate to hear me on the phone with my wife.
Is it something you ate, or?
Yeah. But He can repair things. And it's because of that we have this ministry that we have now. And reconciliation is a big part of the ministry that God's given to us.
Well, that's touching. Bobby, you up.
I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where I wanted to go in ministry. And by the time I was 15 years old, I knew this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it didn't work out that way, because I went to service, I got home, I trained horses. From there, I went to school, back to school, and started designing and testing asphalt. I did that for 19 and a half years. And in the middle of all that, my wife and I were praying about going full-time in the ministry. I had just done my first solo project, but I was excited. And just started my second project. I was getting a few calls, a few dates, and all of a sudden the office manager called me in the very front. I was working at an asphalt plant and been there for 19 and a half years. Loved my job, loved what I did, got to the highest level I could possibly get to. Walked in at 7 o'clock and walked in, there's a human resource person there. The day before, I had lunch with a friend of mine from the radio station, KSBJ Radio in Houston. And she was having lunch with my wife and I. She said, Robert, when are you going to get that stupid job to do what God wants you to do? And jokingly, I said, when I hear an audible voice from God, I kind of laughed. 7 o'clock that next morning, I got a phone call back. I came to the front, there was all these people sitting in the office. I was the first of 166 to get laid off that day. This is the very next day. Don't ask for something if you don't want it. Because this has been almost 15 years later. And I'm looking back and seeing how God has taken us out of the comfort zones and urge you. So in whatever your situation, whatever you're going through, no matter how bad it is or how good it is, that we walk in this Christian life that God has called us to be in. We walk upright. We walk with joy. We walk with integrity. We walk with confidence, knowing that who we are as a believer, no matter what you've gone through and what you're going through today, walking through that and glorifying Him while you're doing it will make each one of our lives a whole lot better, so the rest of the world can't sit back and say, hey, you know those believers in that church? They're a bunch of hypocrites. You know those people out there? They're not any different than we are. No, we're not. We're not any different. The fact that we have a home eternal, we're not any earthly different. We are spiritually different. That's why each one of us is walking.
That's very interesting. I didn't know you were such a expert in asphalt production. You never mentioned that on the site. That might be something you would include.
Now,